9th, 2023. We come to order. Please place all electronic devices on mute, remove hats, and please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Hazen,
Here.
Mr. Belovich,
Here.
Mr. Mamalenti,
Here.
Mr. Banicki,
Here.
Mr. Emmons, Mrs. DeMay,
Here.
Mr. Compton,
Here.
Mrs. Volker,
Here.
Mr. Hicksonball.
Here.
Thank you. I would like to open the floor for nominations for President of the Council for the year 2023. Any motions? Mr. Mamalenti?
Yes, thank you. I would like to make the motion that Mr. Hicksonball remain and serve as council president for 2023.
Second.
Second.
Are there any more nominations? I would now entertain a motion to close nominations.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I look forward to continuing to serve with you in the coming year. And at this point in time, the chair will entertain a motion to appoint our council vice president for 2023. Mr. Mamalenti.
Yes, Mr. President, thank you. I would like to make the motion and nominate Mr. Banicki to serve as vice chair for 2023.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations? Then I would entertain a motion to close nominations.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor of closing nominations for the position of vice president signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Then at this time, I'll entertain a motion to appoint Mr. Banicki as council vice president for 2023.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor of Mr. Banicki serving as council vice president again during 2023 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it. Congratulations, Mr. Banicki.
Thank you, Mr. Hicksball. Thank you all.
All right. Before we go any further, welcome to those of you who are here with us in person. And once again, we are providing remote access to our meeting, and we welcome those of you who are participating remotely as well. Members of the public who are participating remotely are asked to place their microphone on mute during the meeting with the exception of any public hearing. And at the appropriate point in the public hearing, I will invite the public to unmute their microphone for purposes of submitting such comments as they may wish to make, one person at a time. All persons wishing to make public comments will be asked to first state their name and address for the record. And after completing the comment, members of the public will once again be asked to place their microphone on mute. And we thank all of you for your cooperation with us this evening. With that, approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of December 19th, 2022, as well as our special meeting minutes for December 27th, 2022. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, they will stand approved as received from the clerk's office. Petitions, communications, remonstrance, and memorial.
Yes, Mr. President, we have ARPA Awards presentation this evening.
Thank you. Mr. Mamaleni, if you want to welcome our award recipient this evening.
Would you like me to do it up here, down there?
Why don't you go down there like we did last time?
Envelope?
It's right there.
And tonight's recipient are our representatives of United Way here on behalf of the One Roof Project.
Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of the council and the city of Mishawaka, it's my honor to award you with this check and for your continued service within our community, and look forward to the future and what this will do for the community. I think it will last years and years to come, and I appreciate the effort, so thank you very much.
Just very quickly, on behalf of United Way of St. Joseph County and One Roof, we are truly grateful for this investment, and we are excited to get to work. So on Wednesday, we have our first community meeting that hopefully goes well for City Hall, and we are excited to support the neighborhood, the residents, the schools in Mishawaka, as well as the city, and bring childcare and healthcare and youth programming and programs for seniors to benefit everyone in the city of Mishawaka. So thank you very, very much. We're truly grateful.
Thank you.
Don't spend that all. Good luck.
Laura.
Congratulations. It's very exciting.
She's the chair.
All right, Madam Clerk?
We have a letter from the City Plan Commission regarding their recommendations from their December 13th meeting. Honorable members, a regular meeting of the Mishawaka Plan Commission was held on the above referenced date, at which time the following proposed ordinances were considered. Petition number 2022-20, a request submitted by Ann Witkowski and Mark Kasanovich as tenants in common, requesting to amend the Gateway Plaza, Bremen Highway PUD to allow a second restaurant with drive-through restaurant and automobile use and reduced parking. The commission, with a vote of 7-0, recommended approval. Petition number 2022-21, a request submitted by Gumwood Acquisitions LLC requesting to amend the Grandview Planned Unit Development to increase the building height to 65 feet. The commission, with a vote of 4-3, forwarded no recommendation. Pursuant to Indiana Code 36-7-4-605, the Mishawaka Plan Commission hereby certifies to the Mishawaka Common Council the attached proposed ordinances regarding the above matters. This is signed by Carrie Myers, Administrative Planner. We also have petition number 2022-22. To the honorable members of the Common Council, petition to rezone Outlot from C1 General Commercial to C7 Automobile-Oriented Restaurant Commercial, northeast corner of 12th Street and Merrifield. This is signed by Brad Beer and Richard Malhaupt.
Thank you. Before we move forward, in my haste to try to get everybody out of here before the big college football championship game this evening, I denied my colleagues the opportunity to say any words with respect to the One Roof project that they choose to do so. So would anybody like to speak? Mrs. Volker.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to say how excited we are to have United Way and One Roof come to Mishawaka and, bring all of the tools that you're working on pulling together, including the Boys and Girls Club and rural services and mental health services and a playground and just so many neat things that are going to just put new life in our old city hall and new life and provide wonderful services for the community. So I'm happy to have been a part of it, and it's like 2 blocks from my house, so I'll be paying very close attention. But thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Volker. And, Mr. Mamalente.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I just want to take this opportunity to thank my partners on the committee, Kate Volker and Mike Compton, and the great help of President Hicksonball. Just as a reminder, this process has taken several meetings, presentations. We did not take this lightly, and I can't think of a better recipient than One Roof and United Way with the program. It really encompasses everything as the committee first started to discuss, and you guys even take it a step further from infant to end of life. Everything is all-inclusive, and I think we really hit the mark with this, and just to repurpose the old city hall potentially, and just, I think great things are going to come, and the city of Mishawaka will be in great hands and be receiving great services from you guys. So appreciate the efforts, as I said before. Look forward to seeing how this thing grows and pans out. So thank you.
Well said. Thank you, Matt. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak? Then again, thank you and good luck as you embark on this new venture. And with that, this evening we have no report of any special committee, nor any ordinances on first reading, nor any resolutions. So let's move into ordinances on second reading.
Proposed ordinance number 2022-49, an ordinance amending Chapter 137 of the Municipal Code of the City of Mishawaka, Indiana, as from time to time amended, commonly known as the zoning ordinance of 1966 of the City of Mishawaka, Indiana. This is PUD amendment to allow second restaurant with drive-through, automobile use, and reduced parking south of 3615 Bremen Highway.
Thank you. May we have the committee report, please?
Yes, Mr. President, to the members of the Common Council of the City of Mishawaka, your Committee on Land Use Planning, to whom was referred the matter of proposed ordinance number 2022-49, that they have examined said matter and that their opinion should be adopted. This is signed by the majority of the committee, and I move for its acceptance.
Second.
Thank you. A motion has been made and seconded to approve the committee report. Any additional questions or comments from the council? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. We'll now move into the second reading and public hearing on proposed ordinance 2022-49. Anyone wishing to speak in favor, if you would, please come forward to the podium.
Good evening. My name is Jeffrey Schaefer. I'm with Avonmarsh. Our address is 315 West Jefferson Boulevard in South Bend. Here representing Vequity, the developer, as well as the property owner, the petitioner. We appreciate the recommendation of approval from the Plan Commission and from the committee, and I can answer any questions you might have on this application.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Schaefer? Mrs. Volker?
Hi, thank you very much, Mr. President. I had a question about just some terminology, specifically why you are asking, or the company is asking to allow the changes to the PUD without having to get approval from any of the other neighbors.
I think when this PUD was first approved, it had multiple property owners involved. Since that time, a lot of the ownership has turned over, and most of the property is now owned by various developers. So I think there's less of a need at this point to have all of the property owners coming in as a group, as the properties now have developed individually. For example, the Taco Bell was originally part of this PUD. The All Secure Storage was originally part of this PUD. And so that's why we included that in our application, that at this point in time, now that everything is being developed, there's really not a need necessarily for all the other owners to be involved.
So as a follow-up to that, thank you, were the residential, were all the neighbors, have they been notified?
It's my understanding they would have been notified as
By
part of
letter?
the Plan Commission, yes.
Okay.
Yep. And again, I think I want to make sure there's a fine line there. The original PUD called for the owners of the parcels themselves that were part of the PUD to be a joint applicant, not necessarily adjoining property owners adjacent to the PUD. They were just notified as they normally would have been for zoning. So I think that's the difference.
Okay. And you haven't heard anything from anybody?
No, there was, I do not recall anyone being in attendance at the Plan Commission meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from the council? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak in favor of the proposed ordinance? If so, please come forward. Then is there anyone participating remotely who wishes to speak in favor of the proposed ordinance? Is there anyone physically present this evening who wishes to speak in opposition? Please come forward. And is there anyone participating remotely who wishes to speak in opposition? Hearing no one, are there any council members who wish to speak? If not, I call for the question.
Question.
Madam Clerk, would you please poll the council?
Mr. Hazen?
Yes.
Mr. Belovich?
Yes.
Mr. Mamalenti?
Yes.
Mr. Benicki?
Yes.
Mrs. DeMade?
Yes.
Mr. Compton?
Yes.
Mrs. Volker?
Yes.
Mr. Hicksonball?
Yes.
The proposed ordinance passes 8-0. Proposed ordinance number 2022-50, an ordinance amending Chapter 137 of the Municipal Code of the City of Mishawaka, Indiana, as from time to time amended, commonly known as the zoning ordinance of 1966 of the City of Mishawaka, Indiana. This is a PUD amendment to increase building height to 65 feet, northwest corner of Cleveland Road, State Road 23, and Gumwood Road. Petitioner has requested postponement until February 6th meeting.
Thank you. Mr. Compton?
Thank you, Mr. President. I make a motion that we honor the petitioner's request and postpone to our next regular meeting.
Second.
Thank you. A motion has been made and seconded to postpone second reading and public hearing on proposed ordinance 2022-50 until our next regularly scheduled council meeting, which will occur on February 6, 2023, here in the council chambers. Any,
2 meetings away. We have another meeting.
I'm sorry, 2 meetings away.
That was my motion.
Our first regularly scheduled council meeting in February, which will take place on February 6, 2023. Are there any additional questions or comments from the council? Hearing none, then all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The matter will be postponed until February 6th, 2023. With that, we'll move into privilege of the floor. At this time, members of the public are invited to speak with respect to non-agenda items only under privilege of the floor. Hearing no one, is there anyone participating remotely who wishes to speak under privilege of the floor? Thank you. Unfinished business, of which there is none. New business. We have the annual appointment of our council committees and other appointments, as well as appointments to various boards and commissions. A list has been prepared and distributed with input by the council and distributed by the clerk's office. So at this point in time, the chair would entertain a motion to approve our council committees and appointments as reflected on the list that has been distributed.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. A motion has been made and seconded to make our council committee and other appointments pursuant to the list that's been prepared and distributed by the clerk's office. Any additional questions or comments from the council? Then hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The motion passes unanimously. Next, we have the acceptance of, the annual acceptance of conflict of interest forms. Madam Clerk, would you please read the names of those council members who have submitted conflict of interest forms?
Conflict of interest forms have been submitted by Dale Woody Emmons, Anthony Tony Hazen, Greg A. Hicksonbaugh, and Matt Mamalenti.
Thank you. At this point, the chair would entertain a motion to accept the conflict of interest forms for those council members whose names were just read by the clerk.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. A motion has been made and seconded to accept the annual conflict of interest forms. Any additional questions or comments from the council? Then hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. New business. Is there any other new business coming before the council? Mr. Mamalenti?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Would like to remind the folks online and here in person that we will have a Twin Branch Neighborhood Watch meeting January 18th at 7 o'clock. It will be held at Fire Station Number 4 on Harrison Road. The guest speaker will be Officer Faltinsky. He will be doing a meet and greet since, unfortunately, Lieutenant Ruppert has moved on to further his career elsewhere. So Officer Faltinsky will be stepping in, and that will be, again, January 18th, 7 o'clock, Fire Station Number 4. And there is a rumor that Barnaby's Pizza may be served. Did you hear that, Woody?
Thank you. Any other new business to come before the council? Then along the lines of reminders, once again, we want to remind folks that this coming Wednesday, January 11th at 6:30 here in the council chambers, there will be a neighborhood meeting to discuss the proposed plans for the disposition of the former city hall, and we would certainly invite members of the public to attend that meeting as well. 6:30 on Wednesday, January 11th here in the council chambers. Thank you. Any additional new business to come before the council? If there is none, then a motion to adjourn would be in order.
So moved.
We're adjourned. Thank you, folks.